Hi guys, I hope you're going to forgive me because the second video contains a lot of reading, which is something that I didn't want to do, but I need to practice in front of the camera and I haven't necessarily got time to just learn the script. So the plan is I will make a video and then I will watch my video and eventually my story will become fluent and I will be able to share with the world nice and easy. That's the plan. So, off we go. The problem I'm having is I'm not sure who I am. Now, I know that sounds daft. I know I'm Bronwyn. But I'd like a little bit more than that. See, I am a culmination of so many different traits. I ask people, who am I? I will be told that I am a friend, a daughter, a partner, an employee, a helper. It's lots and lots of roles that I fulfill on a near daily basis. There are so many traits of mine that I am proud of. I am proud of my sunny disposition. I am proud of my bubbly personality, my general enthusiasm for things. Heck, I am even proud of the fact that I am that little bit weird. It's my belief that we all are a little bit weird. Although, I may be wrong. We'll see. When trying to figure out who I am, I was gobsmacked at the size of how big of a question it actually is. Some days it feels as though I haven't got a clue, but that's just because I haven't worked it all out yet. And that's okay. I'm on a journey, a quest if you will. I want to work it out. I will keep on going until I crack my code, and I'm kind of hoping that by doing so publicly, I might be able to help some others crack bits of theirs too. If I do, that is a win-win situation. But for now, I'm going to start with what I do know. So, I know I'm Bronwyn. I know that I've been on the planet for a little over 24 years now. I'm not old yet, but my worldview has shifted a couple of times. It's my current take on life that we are all woven into our own stories and into those of others. Across my life, I would have featured in a million different stories in just as many different roles. For example, just by you watching this video, you've let me in on your story. I've become that girl on the internet that you spent a little bit of time on. Whether you relate to me or not, thank you for letting me be part of your story too. Just like you, I have friendships and family ties, daily routines, my own little quirks. I'm a functioning member of society. But there have been times when that could not have been further from the truth. For those of you who don't know me, my passion is mental health. And I am a result of my past experiences. My own life has been heavily influenced with my complex relationship with my own mental health, as well as witnessing that of others. Before this gets too heavy, I just want to let you know that it is hard to say nice things about yourself. It's so much easier to put yourself down. But I know, through the culmination of my story and where I am now, I am a kind-hearted person. I wholeheartedly believe that. And I will continue to do my best to be a good person. We share the planet. We should share with each other. But that is my take. That being said, I wish to warn you. My story includes instances of abuse, depression, and references to intended suicide. I work through my emotions by sharing. You are not obliged to listen. Trust your gut and be safe. If anything hits too far from home, I will leave some resources down in the description. Please be safe, and if you need to, reach out. You're not alone on the planet, no matter how hard it might be to remember that sometimes. Okay, I hope you're ready for this. It's story time. So, my earliest clear memories are back from the days of primary school. There was no two ways around it. I was a nerd, a teacher's pet, a try-hard, the SWAT, that little geeky girl in the front who was sucking up to the teachers. Fact of the matter was, I loved school, although more accurately, I loved learning. Not that many of my friends at the time knew why. You'll see, between the ages of 8 and 10, school was my escape. It was my shelter. It was the one place where I felt safe from a creature that I thought was a monster that was waiting for me at home. It thrived on instances of domestic and child abuse against me, my brother, my mum, and by the time the 2 years ended, my newly born baby sister too. It was a hard time. I still have flashbacks sometimes. There will always be scars. I still cannot face cheese on toast, even though I love cheese. With all that was going on at home, it was no surprise that I had already started to distance myself from the friends I did have. They put up with the goody twos as I was, and they did their best. The thing is, I had figured that hard work equated to the praise and approval that I needed. I wanted to do well. I felt I had to do well. And it was a trait that proved nearly to be fatal. My self-worth was built upon the praise of teachers. My teacher became my idol. And from that point, as that scared little 9-year-old, I knew that I was going to be a primary school teacher. So off I went. Fortunately, it wasn't long after that my childhood monster went extinct. My family and I carried on. We had to leave our childhood home due to the level of disrepair it was in, and it took us many years to settle into another stable home. It was a bit of a running joke with my friends throughout high school that I would ask if they would like to come over for dinner. And the response was always, "Where to? Where are you now? Which house are you in now?" That was just how it was. Being determined as I am, I worked hard to get into teacher training. So I blasted through my GCSEs and my A-levels. I got the qualifications I needed, and I headed off to university. But I hadn't addressed the issues that were hiding underneath. There was this time that I was building up the biggest facade of them all. For 2.5 years, I worked hard. I was well known, and while I would not necessarily say well liked, I was widely tolerated. I secured elected positions of social responsibility, like a course representative. I got to speak in front of cohorts. I believed I was making a difference. At the time, I had convinced myself that this was just who I am. I'm just driven to help. But in hindsight, it's clear to me that I just needed the attention as much, if not more, as I wanted to help. I worked hard. I smiled. I made friends. I picked up other people wherever I could. I was bright and happy on the surface, but I didn't let people get too close. I was afraid that if they looked closer, they'd see the cracks. I was working. I was trying so hard. I just had to do well. I needed to get through this. I needed to graduate. I needed to become a teacher. I just spiraled into this pit I thought I needed. It was what I had always wanted. My efforts were too severe. The pressure I had built up on top of myself was crushing me. I worked myself into the ground. I was just thinking, just work hard, just push through it. It'll be okay. But it wasn't. November 5th, 2015, just months before I completed my course, or would have completed my course, I found myself sat on a train home from university. My life plan had just shattered around me. The night before, I was ready to commit suicide and been halted by a concerned friend who knew what to look for due to her own struggle with depression. I don't remember much about what we did or what we said that night. I just remember that her presence gave me the strength and helped keep me together until the next morning when we went to face the world together. I remember recounting my emotions and mental state to the doctor, to my professional tutor, all with my friend by my side. My picture-perfect student facade was in pieces in front of them. I faced outcries of, "Why didn't you say something? We never would have guessed. You should have talked to us." But the version of me that they knew had just shattered its way out of existence. I remember it like an out-of-body experience. This shell just crumpled before them. I was a failure, a fraud, a fake. I was unfit to be a teacher, spiraling ever further as I returned home. My own mind was a hostile plane I could barely human. I felt barely human. Cooking, cleaning, eating, bathing, they all became insurmountable tasks. It was made worse by careless comments and people who either didn't want to or just didn't understand. I even had a comment from my home doctor. She said that if I was her daughter, that she would be ashamed of me and that I should buck up my ideas and go back to university. It was not a comment that I will ever be able to forget. It took months of care and support from my family, a new doctor, several trials of different methods and therapy to claw back some of the humanity that I had lost, to relearn how to human. I was desperately trying to reclaim who I was, but caused myself heartbreak and headaches as I scrambled around what was left of my identity. I had spent my entire life building up to teaching. It was all I ever wanted to do, and with the bubble burst, I lost it once again. But this time, I had help. I managed to function enough to get by, to human. I got back up on my feet, and one step at a time moved past my front door. I spent weeks soul-searching. More questions. What drives me? What do I value? Who do I want to be? What am I good at? Why am I here? Why are you bothering? Constantly yelling at me in the back of my head, leaving very little room to think. Fortunately, I had my GCSEs and my A-levels behind me. I had options. I just did not know what I wanted to do. A future, a career was out of the realms of what I could imagine. I just sat by, days went by, maybe weeks, until I hit a point where I discovered that I just could not sit by and do nothing anymore. I had to get out. My solution was volunteer work. During this time, my mum was subject to quite a few health issues that was a source of stress, to say the least. Her latest diagnosis was of type 2 diabetes, and as a family, we had some time adjusting to the news. My mum coped with the condition by volunteering with Diabetes UK and has set up a local support group. Having been inseparable from my mum during my recovery, I had made good links with the local staff for Diabetes UK. I knew they were looking for an office volunteer, and I figured that this was my chance. They knew my situation, and they worked with me slowly and steadily until I was able to start placing bricks in the foundations of who I want to be. I went on to complete an administration apprenticeship. I did 6 months as an accounts payable clerk, and right now, I'm a trainee digital marketer. I've built a solid relationship, reconnected with old friends, made new ones, and I'm finally moving in with a partner. I have my driving license, a car, a bed to sleep, somebody to come home to. I have a job that I enjoy and so much more. It's taken years, but now I can tell you that I am living again without feeling like I'm lying to your face. My path has not been smooth, but it has been lit with stars and has led me to be the kind-hearted, bright-eyed and passionate person that I am today. Would I willingly go through it again? Absolutely not. Would I wish it on anybody else? Oh no, not a chance. But I can't deny my own history. Not if I want to make a future. Don't get me wrong, the road is long, and I'm still prone to episodes and stress, but that's why I think this is the right time to start. I want to share with you the ups and the downs as I try to let go of who I was and rebuild in the image of who I am. Question still remains, who am I? I am a work in progress. And at this point, I'm okay with that. This is my invitation to you to come join me on this journey, to follow along, to ask the questions yourself. It may be my story, but that doesn't mean it can't be woven into yours. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time. Please leave notes, comments, feedback down in the description. It's a learning experience. I can't correct something I don't know I'm doing wrong. Again, if you know editing software, if you have any hints, tips, anything, I would be pleased to hear them. Thank you. Bye.